among the many eventful occurrences while I was the director of the blood division was the ability to travel to various meetings, one of which took place in 1974, uh, uh, which was the International Society of Hematology and Blood Transfusion that met jointly in Jerusalem. And fortunately, my mother, Mutti Hedwig, and my lovely daughter, Carol, accompanied me on that trip. And we had a wonderful time, and I was able to touch base with Professor David Weiss, and particularly uh, his one of his fellows, Sami Ben Sasson, whose father actually was a very noted historian, biblical historian. And Sami, in 1972, had taken me all over Jerusalem and showed me memorable positions, the battle plan of the War of '67, for example, of which he was a part, and he showed me where some of his troops on the western, on the Lions Gate died, and where other people, uh, Jews, lost their lives, where they had little statues, and why Jerusalem was so central in its location, because this was an obvious east-west and north-south route for caravans and so forth. But I mentioned 72 in relation to 74 because when we returned, the Yom Kippur War had taken place in 73 between my two visits to Israel, and there were some uh, uh, remembrances related to that. But we had a wonderful time. Muti stayed, I think, at the King David Hotel. We stayed at the Moriah, I think, didn't we?
It was a modern one. I don't know
Yeah,
its
the
name.
Moriah Hotel, which was real near the western wall of the uh, old city. And on the night before the end of the conference, we had a final session, and Golda Meir came in. We were in the front row, and I think we have a picture of that. Mutti was there, Carol was there, I was there, and also uh, Yigdal, the general of the army, who was responsible for the excavation of Masada.
I remember going to Masada on that
You were a
trip.
teenager.
Mm-hmm.
What was his
14,
name?
I think.
Yigdal.
I
Again,
don't remember. We can
my
find it.
memory
It's not a big
is
deal.
poor.
No.
He
Your memory's
he was
amazing.
there at the meeting too. And then the next day, we flew back on an El Al plane. And while we were in the air, we found out that the TWA plane, which made a stop from Jerusalem and Athens prior to coming to the United States, crashed into the ocean, and it turned out that it was a bombing of the plane. It was Frederick Stolman and his wife who sat next to us. Frederick Stolman was a large man. He was editor of the Journal of Blood, and he and his wife were on that plane, as were two of the senior scientists of Johnson and Johnson's division of blood pharmaceuticals, and those four were among those I knew who had died on that airplane.
Wow, I had no idea. You must have protected me because I had no idea we had that close.
Informed of it while I was on the plane, and I'll never forget that because when I learned, I had visited the Johnson and Johnson facility, and the people had uh, uh, shown us around. In fact, gave me a binder which I gave to Liz just at a recent trip here. And so that was another sad outcome of that.